actions, which are, you can put hands up, you can applaud. It doesn't make any noise, but it's quiet. Okay, so at this point, I've already welcomed you all into the meeting, and I'm going to have Dave Lyons explain how this is a joint Cub Scout and Boy Scout meeting tonight. Dave? Turn Dave on there.
I was looking to see if I was muted.
You're on now.
Yes. The new form, put the agenda up, please. Keep the agenda up. These topics, opening, hot topics, safety moments, discussion, and closing, is the new format from National. And people going with the virtual roundtables are keeping both groups, Cubs and Boy Scouts and venturing and Sea Scouts, whatever shows up, will be together through the opening, the hot topics, the safety moment. And then we've all, except me, practiced using Zoom rooms so we can split, which we will not do tonight because Al is here to talk, into separate Zoom rooms for a Cub Scout discussion, a Scouts BSA discussion. And if we have venturers or Sea Scouts, those discussions also, and then a closing. Generally, if we're doing Zoom rooms, the closing will be in your Zoom room. We won't come back for the thing. The opening, as you saw, National gave us a nice tape that we used. We actually switched what Dave Sallow is doing for the safety moments is based on a document that National put out for the hot topic. And we invented this hot topic. So we all work together for the first part, and we're all part of one team anyway. We got to get more Cub Scouts and more Scouts BSA to keep this organization going.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Say, I was introduced to the Family Fun Fest, and it sounded like an exciting event. I didn't have that particular weekend or Saturday available to me, but is there anybody here today? Put your hand up. We're going to test putting your hand up now. Put your hand up if you did take part in that National Family Fun Fest. Anybody here that did that? I'd like to hear how it went. Dave Lyons, did you make it there or not?
I was scheduled to work at the Wilmington Scout Shop.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess they didn't. It wasn't as exciting. We didn't think it was as we thought it was. We have two Herb Dobbses tonight. That's amazing. Okay. Well, anyway, it sounded more Cub Scoutish than Boy Scoutish. So I wasn't there either. So we'll ask around and see if we have anybody. So let's bring it up to one of our hot topics items here and turn it over to Bob Hayes and let him bring up some good hot topics that we have planned for you.
All right, great. Yep, thank you so much. So two of the hot topics that obviously everyone's talking about is the first issue is the lawsuit and the bankruptcy issues that they're talking about with the national office. And I'll kind of cover those. And at any point, if you have a question, how do we handle questions, Herb?
Send a chat.
Okay, you can send in the chat. So as many people know, a long time ago, the courts decided that the statute of limitations was overturned for some sexual abuse cases that happened years and years and years ago. That lawsuit is still pending, and the thing you should know about that is they've set a bar date of November 16th. And what that means is up until that date, anybody can file, but after November 16th, anybody who files from November 16th is all going to be put together in a planned settlement. And that kind of, my understanding is that it'll close the discussion at this point. So that means those will be the cases, and that's all that'll be the cases, and there won't be any others. So that's a good thing. Many of you have probably seen all the advertisements on TV. That's part of that bar date, is that we've got these, as part of our responsibility, we have to advertise. So we're actually paying, the Boy Scouts of America are actually paying for those advertisements about the abuse cases. We have to do that. We have to send out correspondence. Some of you may have received a letter. That's all part of this process for the lawsuit. So that's all you really can talk about right now. In the Garden State Council or our predecessors, that would be Camden County Council, Southern New Jersey Council, the Burlington Council, and many others that are all part of this. We have about 11 cases right now. So we're pretty good. There's some that have a lot. 11 may seem high. One is too many. Majority of these cases happened in the 60s and 70s. I think we have one that may have been from the 80s or 90s, but other than that, all these cases are from 30, 40 years ago. So that's the basic with the lawsuit. And then the bankruptcy is all part of that. It's a planned bankruptcy, so that what they want to do is be able to create a pot of money so that the defendants would all settle with that pot of money, and then that's how they would resolve the issue of the abuse cases. The Boy Scouts have also offered counseling. They've offered all kinds of other opportunities for those who were abused to be counseled or made whole in terms of psychologically or damage-wise. So that's it on the bankruptcy and the lawsuit. One of the things you should know about the bankruptcy that has happened, we have, or the national office has probably laid off or furloughed over 500 people. One of the most recent ones was the help desk. So for any of you that called the help desk at the national office, please don't do that anymore, because all they're going to do is they're going to refer you to the council office. So that was one of the ones that was cut, one of the departments that was cut. So anytime you call down there, so please refer to your council office. And what's interesting is what they did is they gave us a whole list of the typical calls they received, how many they received. So we've kind of got an idea of who's calling and for what reasons. So that's one of the fallouts of this whole lawsuit and the bankruptcy part. If you have any questions, please feel free to either shoot me an email or a text or call me, and I'll be happy to answer. I will tell you there's a letter that's going to be an open letter that's going to be going out from Patrick, the Scout executive, which talks about the things that I just talked about and some of the responses that you can have to that. Like if you're somewhere and says, hey, well, I hear scouting's out of money, and you can talk about that. One of the things that everybody should know about the bankruptcy, that's the national office. That does not affect the local council. So all the money that we raise, like FOS dollars, all the money that we raise through our special events, all the money we raise through the Scout-a-thon, any of our investments, that's the Garden State Council's money. None of that goes to the national office. The only thing that goes to the national office outside of the fees that we get charged for, like the computer stuff, the firewall, all that typical stuff. The only other thing that goes to the national office is the registration fee. So any registration fees we get goes directly to the national office. We don't get a percentage of that. We don't get any of that. That all goes directly to the national office. So the most important thing to realize, and this is, if you're in the fundraising department, it's, because donors are saying, well, I'm not going to give to the national office. Or even if you're doing an FOS presentation, they're going bankrupt. I'm not giving to the National Boy Scouts. No, we're still whole. We're still doing a great job. I mean, we're still raising money. It's tough right now in COVID-19, but we still do all those things to support the operation of our units. So that's it for the bankruptcy and the lawsuit issues. The next thing is the scout fees. So as many of you know, effective August 1st, there was a new structure from the national office regarding registration fees. So for a youth member, now it is $66 a year. For a council person, so a council-sponsored unit, that would be kind of our Scout Reach program. It's $30 a scout. For exploring participants, that's $42 a year. And then registered adults and non-unit positions like a board member, that's $42 as well. On top of that, and this is the new thing they're doing, is the $25 new member fee. Now, as long as somebody has a Boy Scout ID, so if you had a scout who was maybe a Cub Scout and left and then joined Boy Scouts, as long as they were registered and had an ID number, they are not charged that new member fee. So anybody who's currently a registered member of the Boy Scouts of America or was a registered member of the Boy Scouts of America is not charged this new member fee. Okay. And it's a one-time fee and it's good for life. The only thing you should know about that fee is, a lot of times we do the prorated fees for fall, or if you join later in the year, the $25 fee is not prorated. So if they were to join in it, so it roughly at these rates, it's $8 a month, plus the $25 recharter fee. So if they were for 2 months, it'd be, $16 plus, the $25, which make it $41 to register for 2 months. Unless they want if they want Boys Life, that's just an additional $1 on top of the $8. So again, $66 for the Scouts, $42 for Explorers, $42 for adults, $25 recharter fee, and then the other thing, the rechartering fee went up to $75. So those are the national fees. Many of you have seen that the council has now instituted a program fee. The program fee was designed to help offset the council's operating expenses in more of an equitable way. So typically we do the Friends of Scouting campaign and we get roughly half of the units participate in that. And that's when we go out and we ask people to support scouting, their families to support scouting. And, we raise some money doing that. But you don't get everybody. So this was kind of a way to help the council have a better understanding of what they can realize in income from that portion. So when we're doing the budget, the council budget for the year, we're always trying to stay ahead of the curve on that. And this is something that certainly helps that, because you understand how much money you're getting versus, we used to get 500 from this unit. This year we got 200. Some units we got 200, we got 500 from this year. So that was always a crapshoot in the budget and put a lot of strain on the budget towards the end of the year. So it's $30 for a youth member. It would be $24 for an explorer, and it would be $12 for an adult. Okay, so now the big question is, what does that entail? And I will tell you this, the national office has said we can charge up to as much as the registration fee. So we could charge $66. And you should know that councils across the country vary in that. We are the cheapest council in the area. Most are in the $50 and $60 range for this program fee. So what does it include? So these are some of the things that we're doing to try and offset that. So anybody who does it would get a 10% off one transaction a year at any of our scout shops. How that process is going to work, we're not quite sure yet, but the people would get a 10% discount. Access to the council camp properties for weekend tent camping at no charge. So a unit would be able to go to Roosevelt, Pine Hill, Pine Tree, use a site, and there would be no charge on that. For the adults, for those who don't know, we do a University of Scouting, which is a training opportunity where we've got all kinds of training courses. That now becomes no charge. That day was typically a $30 charge for anybody who participated in that. So we would do the University of Scouting at no charge. Now that's a benefit more to the unit leaders, unit leadership, but it also benefits the scouts because if we have better trained leaders, they deliver a better program. A special Friends of Scouting thank you magnet. I'll get into that in a second. And then a formal annual report to members produced by a local council. So you get a report of the income we received and the expenses we had. We had an ad hoc committee that we put together of 6 or 7 volunteers that made these determinations. And they spent a lot of time and a lot of work on this to find out what the right number was for people to be charged. This ad hoc committee did a great job. This is not intended to replace FOS, although we understand that many units may say to us now, we already got our money, we're not going to do an FOS present. We don't want you to do an FOS presentation. We know for a fact that there are some units that are so supportive, they want to do an FOS presentation every year. So we'll still have the opportunity, if you want to do that, to do an FOS presentation. We encourage you to do it because it supports scouting and it provides the opportunity for parents, grandparents, relatives to also show their support for scouting on an annual basis. And the last thing, so we understand that there are some depressed areas where somebody might not have the opportunity to or can't afford the new fees plus the council program fee. There will be a process developed, there'll be a form developed where units could apply for assistance for scouts that can't afford to pay the $30 registration fee. We had the form developed, they're still in the process, but they're also thinking about combining that with the campership form, so then family would only have to fill out one form. It would be for this and it could be for camperships and things like that. Naturally with any of this, and I've talked to several units, not only in Old Colony, but from across the council, some of the units said, hey, we already have funds set aside for things like this. So we would probably use that to help assistance for our scouts. I can tell you in the application, one of the things they're going to be saying is, does the unit sell popcorn? Does the unit do camp cards? How does the unit support the council if they want the council to support them? So Herb, I know there might be some questions. If I seem distracted at sometimes I would see a question up and I would start to read it and then I stopped reading them because it was distracting what I was saying. But are there any questions about that you'd like me to address? Or if anybody has anything they'd like to ask?
There were no questions in the chat box.
Okay. It was, the committee did a great job in responding to that. I really appreciate it. The dedication, the commitment these scouts, these board members made to do that. I mean, it was really, really well thought out. And I'll tell you, there were some people who wanted, $55, $60, and some people wanted $15, and they kind of just came to a middle of the road. I can tell you that I think that almost every council across the country has gone to this kind of method of some kind of program fee. So again, if you have questions or concerns, please email me or call me. I'm happy to answer any of those questions for you.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks, Bob.
Rob.
Yeah, sorry it took so long. I didn't think it would take that long for me to say all that.
That's okay. Somebody else had something there? No. Okay, what I'd like to do is jump across to Dave Salo and go to Al Garcia. Herb, do you want to introduce him? I think you were the one who invited him and got him down this way. So give us some information on him.
Sounds good. Al's going to talk about how we can start recruiting and kind of do a lot of marketing in today's digital age. So now we're going to have a lot of problems this year with COVID. We can't do our typical back to school nights and other in-person fundraising do fall activities. So we're trying to figure out what we can do as units to bring in new members. So take it away, Al.
Okay, thank you. Well, first, thank you for having me, and it's great to see all these people on this call. Hopefully you're here to see me. That'd be great. But it's nice that you have this many people attending your roundtable. It's good to see it. And I have to give a quick shout out to Carol. Carol, I haven't seen you in a long time. So good to see you. Okay, so I want to talk about the fall. Obviously, this fall is going to be something different, something that we've never ever seen, nothing that we could have ever really foreseen even. But we are prepared. As good scouts, we're prepared. We're going to make the best lemonade we can with what's being given to us. So what we've done is we've put together a virtual fall recruitment plan. We started putting this together pretty much right at the very beginning of COVID, just in case we weren't back in schools and we weren't able to recruit the traditional way. We figured, well, if we were back in schools, this would still be a great tool for a unit to have, if they're not allowed, to go in the schools anyway. So this would be a great way for a unit that can't get into a school to still be able to have a scout talk and still do a really good recruitment drive. So how will this work? So basically, very similar to like how we're meeting right here now on a Zoom, this is pretty much how your Cub Scout and your Scouts BSA and your venture recruitment night would look like. The way that it would work is our DEs are going to be working tirelessly along with the unit leaders to help schedule these with your school principals and superintendents. We're going to be trying to get one scheduled for just about every unit. That's my goal, that's my dream, that everybody does some type of fall recruitment. Yes, even troops, and I know most troops tend not to, but I'm going to talk a little bit how troops can even recruit as well. So once you have the permission from the school, we'll have the school send out a letter out to every parent. It will be an invitation. I'm going to share, let me just pull up my shares real quick here. Okay, so are you guys seeing my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes, we
right
can.
now,
Go ahead.
so this is the virtual joining event outline. So this is an outline of what the event is actually going to look like and what you're going to do. Pretty much tells you step by step what to do and what to say. There's a couple of short videos that you'll plug in and show. All of these materials will be available to you in a brand new hub that's being set up that you'll be able to download everything that you need. The videos will be there. This virtual joining outline will be there. I'm just going to scroll down so you can read the rest of it. So as you can see, it's pretty much completely spelled out for you. And then in a little bit, I'll show you the video, and then I'll also show you that first letter that will go out. All right, so let me get to one of my other screens. Okay, so this will be the email that we're going to ask the schools to send out. Now, we're hoping that they'll send out an electronic flyer, or if your school is allowing paper flyers, then these will be available to you as a paper flyer as well. So it's very straightforward, very simple. The unit will just plug in their information and out it goes. Now, in order to be able to do this, and in order for it to be successful, in order to have a virtual recruitment night, you have to make sure that your unit is ready to receive and accept online registration and online payment. So it's very, very important that everyone's PINs are set up and that they're ready to receive payment. And it's also important to have somebody ready to greet them. So if you have a new member coordinator, this would be a fantastic time to get them onboarded and get them up to speed with all of this and have them start looking at all this material so they're familiar with it and just how the whole online registration process works, so that when a new member contacts them and says, hey, I want to join, they know exactly what to do. Now, also included in this whole packet of information that you'll be able to download will be a parent handbook, that will tell the new parents, what a pack is, where where to get the uniforms, where the patches go, all of that stuff that a new parent needs to know. Okay, so then one of the other things that we're going to do, to help get some excitement going, as vice president of membership, I participate on a monthly call with all of the other councils in our Northeast area. This covers a large area in the Northeast, over 16 councils, including Puerto Rico and a transatlantic council. One of the things that I started was we've decided that I've asked all of my counterparts to instruct their units that on September 26th, on that Saturday, that they put out their lawn signs, okay, their recruitment lawn signs. So if everybody puts out their lawn signs at the same time, together we can make a much bigger splash. So imagine if you're traveling anywhere throughout New Jersey, that weekend, or your friends are traveling around and everyone's going to be seeing the same signs. It makes a really, really big impact when we all do it together as opposed to everybody doing it separately. And then also right around that same time, as you know, as Bob said, there will be, these ads, for the BSA bankruptcy and the BSA lawsuit and all that stuff going on. So we are going to try to make as much draw as much attention to ourselves as possible. We're going to make people talk about Scouts more than ever this September and October. All right, so we are going to try to put our message out. We're going to have our flyers out. We will be doing Facebook ads. We'll be entering Facebook groups and posting flyers leading up to these virtual events as they're scheduled. Okay, so it's also on the units themselves to help, build up, some excitement around, their events. So you can still put out flyers. Some units, if they're allowed still, we'll try to put out flyers, like they'll ask like their local pizzeria to put a flyer on each pizza box. They'll put up flyers, on high traffic areas, put out flyers, in libraries, places that people might be gathering, any place that there's people that we can try to get in front of, that's what we're going to try to do. And then also, so part of this, so how do you get your lawn signs and all of that stuff? So there will also be a request form that you will download, and you'll be able to request your lawn signs. Each Cub pack should be able to get about 10 lawn signs. We're going with the polyvinyl sleeves, the ones that go over the metal frame. So each pack should be able to get 10 of those. Now, hopefully, most packs have been saving, their signs from year to year. So this should be adding on, to their existing library of signs. So hopefully you'll be able to put out, however many you have. Now, it's so important that we get out there that if we see a unit has not requested signs or has not put them out, we will follow up with them. And if need be, we'll go out there and we'll put signs out in that area, because we want everybody to participate in this, in one shape or form or the other. All right. So all of these things will be available, for Scouts BSA and also for venturing. I'll show you a real quick video of what we're going to be sending out and what you'll be able to download. Let me just get back to that share.
My name is Carlos, and I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a Scout like me. Who here knows what Cub Scouts do? Well, since this is a video, I'm just going to tell you what they do, and let's see if you're right. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities, and we make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, and fishing, and swimming together. We have fun. We play sports and go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the best versions of themselves. Scouts can become future leaders. In fact, some Scouts have even made history. Did you know that some of our former presidents, astronauts, award-winning scientists, and actors were scouts when they were your age? Here's an example of something Cub Scouts get to do each year. Wait for it. We use our skills to make rockets and then we fly them. So, who wants to become a scout? Okay, this is still a video, so I'm going to need you to let me know a different way. If you want to join, visit bascout.org to find a pack near you, get any questions answered, and sign up for Cub Scouts online. Thanks for watching my video. I hope to see you again soon as a Cub Scout like me.
Okay, so nice short video. And then this would be, and then right after that, this is where, now when you run this video, you'll also have hopefully your Cub Master acting as the host. And at that point, then they'll put up either a QR code or, or a direct link to your unit's either website or a link to your Be a Scout address. So this way, if somebody is ready to join you, they can go right there and they can, pay their fee and everything is done without you ever having to even, go chase down an application or chase down money. The only way that they can join is if they pay right then and there, or of course, any other time, they can also, go on, but you have to pay in order to be on the book. So there's no more of that. You fill out the application and then, you're chasing people for the money. So with the application will go the money. Okay, so pretty straightforward, very, very simple. And then, the host will take on, we'll take some questions and then this will be the great time to introduce the member coordinators so they can be familiar with their face, maybe flash a picture. If not on the call, just so they know, who to look for and who will be contacting them. So our incentives for this year, hopefully everybody's going to participate. We're going to have lots and lots of scouts coming in. So we're really trying to make people excited about doing this. So any unit that reaches 25% growth or adds 5 scouts, whichever is greater, 5 new scouts, whichever is greater, will receive shooting time at one of our camps. Okay, we sent out a poll, and that's one of the things that people said that they wanted. They want to have a quality event. They never seem to have enough shooting time at camp. For Scouts BSA, this would mean rifles, shotguns. For Cubs, this would mean BBs and archery. And then they'll have the use of the facilities, there, so they can, schedule a game or a picnic or whatever they want to do, while they're there at camp. Okay, now, even though these are crazy times, there is a little bit of good news. A lot of townships are canceling fall sports, fall recreation sports, at least so far. I know our town has, and from what I've heard, several others are following suit. So this is positioning us in a unique position, whereas before we were always competing with the fall sports. We now are almost the only game still in town. We're still going strong. We're still available. So this is a perfect opportunity to reach out to those athletes and say, hey, I know you thought about, being a scout before, but you couldn't fit it into your schedule because of sport. Give us a try. It's a perfect time to try it. You can coexist. You can be a scout and you can be an athlete. Units do it all the time. Okay. And then let's see, let me just check my notes just to make sure I covered everything. Also, to help support our units, one of the things that we are in the process of putting together, we have started a unit rescue and a unit startup team. Any unit that needs help is going to get help. We have the commissioners looking through units retention numbers, their advancement, and we're trying to identify units that are struggling early so that we can get them the help that they need before they fold, okay? And one of the other things I'm also asking commissioners to do is to possibly make connections with units, okay? If you have a small unit that's struggling and you have a neighboring unit that's doing very well and is willing to share their resources or their great ideas, or like even, let's say, for instance, I'll give a perfect example of my own troop. I was just at a function over the weekend And, as all conversations lead to scouts, start talking about scouts, found out that she was a scout leader, 2 towns away from me. And she was telling me, oh, my troop is, it's fading away. We're down to 6 scouts, and she asked me how many scouts I had. And she was like, whoa, it's just like, can we do what you guys do? Like, yeah, sure. So we would love to share our facilities. We're blessed to have the full support of our township, where we've been given 4 wooded acres with a house and a brook. That serves as our meeting space, and we are always willing to share. And so we're inviting them, to come with us on some of our adventures. We have an annual beach party that we do at Island Beach State Park, which is usually a bring a friend event. And I started telling them about that kind of stuff, and they're like, wow, that sounds great. We would love to be able to do that. Now, we're not saying that we're going to try to take over anybody's troop or anybody's pack. That's not the purpose. It's just to help each other. Okay, by sharing our best ideas and our resources, we all rise together. Okay. Any questions for anybody? I don't want to dominate your meeting.
I have one, and that was, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Is this outline and things of that nature available at this moment?
Yes.
And where would that be available? How would they know about it?
Right now, I have them all, but very soon, as I said, our marketing committee is putting together a hub that will have all of the resources that I talked about all in one place. So it'll be really, really easy for everybody to find. It'll have the request form. It'll have everything all in one spot.
Would you have any objection to us putting your outline of what it's all about in our newsletters that we put out?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah, I can.
Get Herb on that one.
Yeah, once we get off, I'll download it and I'll send it to, I think I have Dave's info. I can send it to Dave, Dave Lyons or Dave Sallow, either one.
Either one.
Yeah, if you want to take a look at it. Some of them will probably change a little bit because these are rough drafts that I have in my files, but they'll be pretty similar to that. And then I'm also in the process of, I'm about to shoot our own Scout Talk video. It's going to be very similar to the video that you saw, but it's going to have some of our own scouts, with some recognizable places and images, from our own council. I just feel it plays better when people see a scout that they recognize or places that they recognize.
Good question.
Hey, Al?
District executive, where'd he go there?
Bob's there.
Do we have a coordinator for our district to help in this effort?
The membership?
Yes?
Yes, so it's Eric Wurst is our membership chairman.
He's right here with us. Okay, good.
He's with us. And another person who's in Old Colony District, John Colligan, is also part of the membership committee that Al has. And he's been really very, very helpful as well.
And Dave Lyons is also
And Dave's on the committee as well. I saw you wait, Dave.
Big supporter. Now,
Hey, if I could, Al's introduction was a little bit short. Al was Cub Master. One of the reasons, or a few of the reasons, but not all of the reasons, that he is vice president of membership is he started with a pack that was very low in numbers, and he wound up with a pack that had over 100 scouts in it. And he kept it organized, and it's still going. And then he moved to Boy Scouting side, Boy Scouts BSA, when his son moved up, and that he's doubled or tripled that pack also. So he knows how to do it because he's done it. He's not just like, like some of the people in politics that get a job because they donated a lot of money. He's actually put in the blood, sweat, and tears to do this and earn the position. And I've been on his membership committee a year and a half or so. Probably one of the low end as far as participation. I apologize.
No.
But he is fantastic. He's also willing to go to essentially any unit or a couple of units and show you exactly what he did to improve his units.
Yeah, I'm very, very willing.
Great detail. I've sat through one of those sessions.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, for that intro. Yeah, as Dave said, I'm very proud of what I was able to accomplish. I didn't do it all by myself. It was, being a Cub Master was one of the hardest things I ever did. I found myself in the position of Cub Master after only being an assistant Tiger Den leader, and I just had to figure it out. And, you know, I've taught myself how to do many things, so I just figured, hey, you know what? I can figure this out, and I did. And as Dave alluded, I took our pack from a struggling pack of about 30 scouts to over 102 scouts in about a year and a half. You know, so I can show people how we did it, and I'm always happy to share. And you may have seen, you know, some flyers, you know, for some courses that I run on I used to do it twice a year before COVID, but maybe now I'll still be doing it as a Zoom, a Cub Masters workshop, you know, where I share all the tools and everything that I use to do it. But yeah, membership is something I'm very passionate about. My philosophy is I just don't think it's right or fair that one scout has a different experience in scouting than another. My goal is to try to share so that everybody has the same great experience as we do.
On the membership, the incentive is the shooting time at the range.
Right.
One of our thought processes when we selected that, besides everybody saying they would love to do it, is shooting can be socially distanced. You can spread them out on the range. You can spread them out in the waiting area, so you don't have to worry about people jammed up. So that it becomes very applicable, a lot easier to do at this time than a lot of the other possible incentives also.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
Okay, well then, thanks so much, Al. I'm so glad to see that we have a organized event here that is going to push and help more so to get recruiting, because if we could hold everybody we have right now, that would be fantastic.
Exactly.
But then again, we don't do it even when we don't have something like COVID-19 to bother us. So therefore, emphasis on this will really be a great help to everybody. So
I just want to
everybody
add one
join
quick
together with
thing.
you, and hope you're overwhelmed.
I just want to add one quick thing, Tom. Yeah, retention is going to be a key for this council. As Tom said, if we can hold on to the ones that we have, that's half the battle right there. So if we can teach our units to run a better program, we'll retain those scouts. Okay, so a lot of units have struggled with doing these virtual meetings. Some units have not met at all. And now, once we hit flu season, if schools are closed, a lot of units may not be able to meet where they normally meet. So it is incumbent on every unit to start looking for a place to meet. Okay, start looking for an alternate place to meet if your school is closed. Find out if you're regular, even if it's a township facility that you use. We just found out that our facility may not be available. So we're looking for alternative places to meet. All right, and we've put together a list of possible places for units to try. Now, for packs, you know, you may even be able to go back to doing it old school, where you have dens meeting in somebody's home. Now, that can only be done if a lot of ifs and a lot of rules and a lot of checks are done. You have to follow the CDC guidelines. You know, so if CDC says, you know, fewer than 25, it's got to be fewer than 25. You have to be 6 feet apart. You have to be 6 feet apart. If you can do it outside, fantastic. You have to check with your charter organization, make sure that they're okay with it. You have to make sure that the person whose home it is okay with it. And you have to make sure that you are 2 deep, okay? Not just one trained leader and another adult, two trained leaders. We will not or don't need to get into any more trouble, okay? So toe the line, and we can get through this, all right? You could meet in somebody's backyard. Rebecca has a beautiful, large backyard. Meet in somebody's garage, you know, start cleaning out your garage, or if you have a big basement, you know, that has space, you know, where you can spread out a den of 6 kids, start getting creative. While the weather's still good, meet outside as long as you can. For troops, I always talk to my troop. We're going to keep meeting outside for as long as we can. We're used to cold weather camping, so we'll be fine up until it starts getting below freezing. Yeah, and then we'll get even more creative. But we're going to keep going. Okay, so with that, I'm going to turn it back to you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Any questions, feel free to email me, cubmasteral@gmail.com. Like Dave said, I'd be more than happy to help anybody, either via Zoom or phone call or whatever you need.
Thank you very much. That was a great segue, because Dave Sallow was going to talk about, do you have a meeting place, as well as how to restart. Great segue there at the end of your talk. Thank you, Al.
You're welcome.
Oh, there's clap buttons here. We've got to give him a clap.
A clap. Thank you, Al.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Okay, Dave Salo.
Yeah, Al kind of talked about a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk about. Big thing I want to talk about is, guys, start talking to your township. Try to figure out where you're going to meet. We normally met at the VFW. The VFW is not going to let us back in until maybe October, November. So start talking to places. Al just had a great list up there. I talked to Mike Perry this week. If you have a small unit or you can have den meetings or troop meetings at one of the council campgrounds. If you're near Pine Hill or Grice or Roosevelt, consider using that. They're going to waive any fees. You just need to check with the council office to set up a meeting. If you get your units going to Pine Hill or to Grice or Roosevelt or Pine Tree, it might induce them to go do more camping. So it's kind of a win-win. Right now, like I said, in September, October, maybe November, depending how the weather is, you probably could meet outside. But come November, December, we need to start thinking of someplace to meet inside. I know the schools around here have said, Dr. Horn can verify this for me, that they're not going to allow anybody in, any visitors. It's just going to be the students. And if they do that at all, one of our local churches that had meetings, and they allowed pack meetings in the gymnasium. They announced this year that they're going to take the gymnasium, close it off, make classrooms. So that pack lost its meeting room. So guys, just start talking to parks, talk to the library, talk to places like Home Depot. They have a meeting room. If you find a good place and you want to share the information, let me know and I'll put it out for everybody else. Herb, would you do me a favor and put up that checklist sheet for me? Al Garcia talked about getting back to scouting. What we need to do is, a council came up with this safe restart scouting checklist, and there's some important things we need to talk about in here. If you guys are going to start meeting, and I encourage you to start meeting, most of my scouts I've talked to are tired of Zoom meetings. They want to get back to meeting each other. They want to see a face. I see Michelle shaking her head. But there's some guidelines we need to understand here. One of the most important things, guys, is talk to your chartered organization. Be sure they're okay with you meeting, and preferably get in writing. Go to the chartered organization and say, hey, we want to start meeting. This is what we want to do. And this is how we're going to do it. But get them to agree to it. There's some other things that talk about in this checklist. Herb, would you scroll down a little bit for me, please? One of the things they talk about is identifying people who fall into the high-risk group. Unfortunately, a lot of the people in this meeting fall in that high-risk group, and it means we're old people. And that, we're more susceptible to this. Big thing, guys, is if you're going to have a meeting, adhere to this guidelines. Right now, the state says that we can meet, if you want to meet indoors, you're limited to 25 people, and everybody must wear a mask. If you're going to be outside, you're limited to 500 people, and they prefer that everybody wears a mask or social distances. There's a whole guideline. The state seems to change their mind every day what we're doing. One of the other things in here, F says review your annual medical and health requirements, I would encourage all of you guys to collect new medical forms for your people. If someone gets sick, we need to know how to get a hold of them. There's a new medical form that's online. You can download it. My understanding is the council wants everybody to have a new medical form this year. If you're going to have a meeting, you want to verify that hand washing and hygiene, clean supplies are there. Means if you're conducting a round table or court of honor or troop meeting, have hand washing equipment there. Have extra masks there. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have a small digital thermometer and check people's temperature when they come in. If someone isn't feeling good, please ask them to leave. Monitor the social distancing. Verify that you've got hand washing equipment there and develop protocols. If you're going to serve food, guys, it's recommended we don't serve food. One of the things they talk about, the state talks about, or is in here, says no self-serve buffets or common water coolers. If you're going to serve water, go buy a case of water bottles. Let the scouts pick them up. Use gloves. A lot of this, guys, is common sense, but the big thing is we don't want anybody to get sick. We don't want anybody to get hurt. Any questions on this? Any comments? Herb, I turn it back over to you, sir.
Yeah, I'll be sending this form out as well. So if anybody has any questions, you can always reach back out to us.
Yeah.
Do any units know that they don't have a meeting place at all?
Say it again, Ed.
Any units know they do not have a meeting place yet?
I've talked to a couple of units and they're still struggling. They're in a process of working out arrangements.
Cool.
The unfortunate thing is the state doesn't seem to know what they're doing. I do know that the school boards, like in Monroe Township, have said, we're not going to let everybody in the schools that's not a student or a teacher. So scouts aren't going to be allowed to meet there. I don't know where other places are going to be. Like I say, we found a room down at the 4-H center. They've canceled all their meetings at the end of October, so their campgrounds are free to use and they're open. Change subject just a little bit. Al Garcia mentioned something about units that might be in trouble and we want to identify them. Guys, if you have a unit that's struggling and you want help, raise your hand, please, let us know. We're concerned that we're going to have trouble gaining new members this year. We're concerned we're going to have trouble keeping scouts here. If you need help or you have problems with your unit, please let us know. Herb, that's all I got.
There was a question, Dave. Should
Yeah.
we require the Part C on that, signed by a doctor for the medical form?
If you're just having a regular meeting, no. If you're trying to any camping or whatever, I would recommend a Part C. The hard thing is most doctors now are backed up and they're not doing the exams. And the BSA has come back and said that they will accept last year's Part C.
I know from my unit, I'm asking them to fill out at least Parts A and B, so we have basic health history. There's
A and
couple,
B.
but
There's now an A, a B1, and a B2. They
Yeah.
just kind of spread it out. And then this, Part C is the same form we've had before. Okay.
that's all I have.
Okay,
Any
does anyone
questions?
Go ahead, Herb.
That's good. I was going to ask you if you had anything else, Tom.
Yeah, I did. Last meeting, we had our picnic where everybody was to bring their own food, picture of it at least. And then I promised that we would have a raffle. And so
Oh, nice.
that was last week, Susan. You missed it by a month. Okay. What I wanted to ask was, I promised about 8 people. I only have email addresses, so I sent an email to those 8 people that I thought was at the meeting last time, roundtable meeting, and asked them to send me their mailing address, and I got 3. So if you were at the last meeting and you were a leader, does that hand mean yes, I didn't get one, or yes? It was Nick. Nick, did you get one? Did you send me your address? Oh, that's why you didn't get one. Okay, I still have them here in my closet. So if you were at the last meeting, I'll try to find your email address. And since we're talking about attendance right now, I would like to get my pen out here wherever it disappeared to, and I want to ask questions. Well, open up everybody's mic there, Herb. I'm taking attendance at this point. Excuse me, Rich Levine, what's your troop number?
7083.
783, okay.
7083.
Yes. Okay, Eric, what's yours? Is he still here? Yes, but he fell asleep behind his sign.
I'm here. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What troop are you with?
783 and Pack 7045.
Okay. Bud, are you still with us?
Yes, it's Troop 33 in Sharptown.
Troop 33, okay. Dave White, I know he's 4.
Yeah, I actually put it in the little name thing to make it easy.
Okay. I get down here. Carol, we know who Carol, Tom, myself. Michelle, you're with the pack and troop or just a pack?
I'm with Bud, Troop 33.
Okay. Christina, what unit are you with? Open up her mic, Herb.
She has to do
Sorry.
that on her end.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Troop
Christina,
57,
what unit are you with?
57 in Washington Township.
Troop or pack?
Troop.
Got it. Okay, Robert. Rebecca, what
Yep.
unit are you with?
Pack 213. Pack 213.
Rebecca, I did. Go ahead, Rebecca.
No, Pack 213.
Say the number again.
213.
Got it. Susan, Nick, Nick. What's your troop?
7045.
Okay. Al, Richard Eber, glad to have you here.
Yes.
Rich,
Pack 238.
say my middle name is Eber. Amazing. Anyway, that's all that I have here. Oh, I had somebody up here, which CARET. They were there. Oh, that was Carol. I'm sorry. We know where it's Carol. Okay, I think I have everybody's unit number now, and we'll use that as attendance, and I'll get it out to everybody that's on the board here, and so that brings us around to whether there's anything else that anyone would like to bring up to the good of the group right now. Well, Dave, get on board there, because that means that you're up. Dave Lyons, that is.
Dave, you gotta unmute yourself. Dave, you're muted.
He's working on
All
it.
right. Carol and I have a couple of announcements. Right now, the uniform promotion is on. You buy a shirt and you get 25% off a pair of pants. You can buy any shirt, including the recently reduced shirts, all the poplin and the micro poly shirts are being discontinued. They've come out with the new male shirts that are the same material that the girls and ladies shirts were. So they're discounting. At national stores, they're discounting those, but national and council stores have the 25% off buy any shirt, get 25% off a pair of pants. And all 3 stores that serve this area are open now. And Carol said the hours in Millville are changing.
Yes, the hours are going to change as of September 1st. And if you don't get down to the store, you might not be aware. So I thought this is a good chance to make you aware. Basically, there's 3 different schedules. So on Mondays and Thursdays, it's the same as it has always been. Open up at 11 and close at 5. On Tuesdays and Saturdays, we're going to open up at 9 in the morning and close at 1. Because some people, you may remember there was a survey in the late winter, early spring, and some people said they wanted days with early hours. So 9 to 1 on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And then on both Wednesday and Friday, we'll have extended hours. So it will be from 11 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. So evening shopping some days, morning shopping others, all just in an attempt to make it possible for you to get to the store when your schedule allows. This should be coming out in the knapsack, and of course it'll be posted on websites.
And I'm sure Herb will put it in our next newsletter.
Yep, you
I'm
will.
sure Herb will. I'll send you an email, Herb.
Thank you.
All right. I want to thank the PACs that are represented here. I'm sure David and Herb are representing the 2 Scouts BSA Troop 4s and the PAC 4. 213 was here. 238 is here. The other troops that are here, if there's a PAC associated with your unit, could you please encourage them to come? It's a lot easier to come to round table now. You just got to get up from your dining room table, walk to your computer, and they will be more organized. We're getting used to the Zoom format, and we have some things to follow these days. So this is going to be a great year. September is going to be September is supposed to be in person with live streaming if you don't want to come out.
Yes.
So
The plan is live streaming via Zoom and possibly the district Facebook page. Still working that out.
It's my birthday month. I will be accepting cake.
it's my birthday month and I'm not getting anything.
I'll jump on that boat. I'm September 13th. I think we need a cake for all.
I'm September 11th.
Birthdays every month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do every month have a cake. That's a great reason to have cake, right?
Hey,
We can't have
Cubs
food.
always
I think we have to go with cupcakes individually wrapped before they get there.
I'll take it.
Are we
Dave,
ready for closing or we got any?
hold up, Dave. On the September meeting, we did talk to Pastor Baitinger. He has welcomed us back into the church. So unless the state shuts us down, we will in fact be back at United Methodist in Mantua in September.
Okay,
Reading you out.
Yes.
okay, this is the time then to turn on your tripod,
All right.
Dave Lyons.
I got to, it's open here.
I'll tell you when we see it.
I had it open. I'll open it again.
Worked the last time.
Wait a minute, I gotta go to share screen.
Your screen, Dave.
There we go.
Nope.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, there he is.
I got this demonstration on a tripod for Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts if you want. You can build this tripod with sticks and rope. It takes a while. The one I have there, you'll see I did it with a bolt and a rubber band. I've also done it with fittings on PVC. So, and the words to this and the words to what follow this will be in the next newsletter and will be posted on a Google thing that Herb is setting up for links for everything. This is takes a total of 7 minutes and 16 seconds. This pole represents your Cub Scout that you recruited. And the Cub Scout has now joined the pack with this bolt and this rubber band on to represent he's or she is in the pack. Now when I let go of this, what's going to happen? That's right. The Cub Scout cannot stand by himself. He didn't join to be alone. He joined to be part of the group. So you got to get this child a den leader. So here we go. This is a den leader. will attach. And a detonator is part of the pack. We'll put the detonator with the Cub Scout. We'll reinforce the pack. And now we should be successful, right? We got a Cub Scout, we have a leader, we're gonna have, they still foul. Seems like we need another pump. You guys have probably heard.
Hey, does that mean we're back?
Those are obviously intended for you to use at your recruitment to try and recruit parents to help. And I apologize, sometimes I'm still using the old vocabulary.
We had no vocabulary whatsoever.
You couldn't hear anything?
No, nothing. It was 7 minutes of silence, but the idea was great. So yes, we need to have need a script for that. We
Well,
need somebody who can talk for you.
We'll have the scripts. I
Okay,
think
that was
what happened,
great.
I muted myself. I wonder if that muted.
Probably.
I don't know whether if you have to pull your microphone out so that your computer can get use the sound off
Dave-
the computer. But
Dave-
don't bother doing it again, Dave. We're going to trust you that
getting
you'll have
late.
it better for the next time.
Dave, your audio was in for the first 2 minutes and it disappeared.
That's about when I muted.
Yep.
Okay, they'll have a reason then. That's good.
I could
Okay.
hear it. It didn't mute it to me.
Oh, good. 1 out of 16. That's not bad.
Dave White
Anyway.
says he has something to say or add.
Right, I was going
What I was
to say
gonna say, sorry, what I was just gonna say was because I do the screen sharing a lot. There's actually a separate button you have to press on top of the screen share to allow it to share the computer sound.
To allow it to what?
Share the computer sound, the sound of the video.
All
we'll
right.
do more practice at home is what we'll do.
Well, if you can hear the first couple of minutes tonight was probably my mistake when I muted myself so that you wouldn't hear my chair squeak or the kids in the room next door.
They're being very
It's all
Okay,
good.
thank you very much for all coming out tonight. And I think we'll just sort of close it off from here.
Tom, give me
And,
1 second. Tom? Bob
somebody
Hayes
else.
said something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just a couple quick things. I wanted to thank Herb, Tom, Dave, the two Daves, and Carol. They really spent a lot of time putting this roundtable together, and I really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. As we know, Carol is stepping down, and Dave is stepping in, and we say thank you, Carol, for what she's done for us for so many years. Our Women of Achievement Scatter of the Year, Women Scatter of the Year. And Dave, I'm looking forward to having this part of this. But Herb and Tom, thank you so much for putting this together. I thought it was a great program.
Yes.
You know, during the COVID-19, now more than ever, scouting is so important. So we know that sports are going to be closed. Like Al said, there's a lot that's not going to be happening. Scouting, we're doing virtually. We're doing all kinds of things. So thank you to all of you here for keeping scouting alive and well during COVID-19.
Bob,
Yes.
since I've been stuck in the house with this virus, I've been ordering a lot of stuff on Amazon, and I've been using Amazon Smile. I
Oh,
have
thank you.
Garden State Council
Thank you.
ESA as my charity, and
Thank
they
you.
get a piece of the action.
Thank you. So just for people who know the Amazon Smile, we're part of that. So if you do buy stuff from Amazon, use the Smile and designate Garden State Council. So thank you, Susan. That's great. Just real quick, I'll be contacting all the principals to talk about fall stuff. So if any of you have a relationship with the school, let me know, because if you would rather work together on contacting the school, just let me know, because I know some of you have really great relationships with schools. I don't want to destroy any of that. So just let me know. I'm going to be contacting them over the course of the next 4 or 5 days. So just let me know if you have that. Don't forget about the popcorn for any units of selling popcorn. Online selling is great, free shipping. And the last thing is, this is being announced September 1st. We're going to do a promotion on the camp cards. We're going to continue to let units sell from September 1st to October 31st. And we're going to increase the commission to $3 versus $2. So, and that's just a COVID-19 special. Don't think it's going to happen next year either. It's just a COVID-19 thing. So we thought we would throw that out there, because we know some units tried to sell them and they couldn't. This will be a great chance to raise a few more dollars. And when we talk about the $30 membership fee or program fee, it's really 10 camp cards now. You know, so if a family sells 10 camp cards, boom, that pays for their program fee. So that's all. Again, thank you so much, Herb,
Everybody freeze now?
and
I can
everybody. I
still
really
see
appreciate
myself.
it.
Everybody frozen?
Cool. Thank
That's
you all
it.
for coming.
Herb, help us.
Tom, it's all you. You're frozen.
Maybe our time is up. If anyone can hear me, I think we'll do that. I don't see any more lips moving. So except for my own, maybe you can see your own moving also, but
We
I
can
don't
hear
see
you.
any
We hear
of
you.
you.
It's not moving.
Anybody back now? We got
Yep.
a new flash pictures. Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Paul. Okay.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.
Oh.
Good night.